Hosts Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Good afternoon. Happy Tuesday. This is the Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary are with you today. Rico, hello.
Hello.
How's it going, man?
It's going pretty good.
Good.
Pretty
Just kind of that middle of the week grind.
Pretty good. This is embarrassing. Me and Rachel were laying down watching a show last night, and I'm just like, man, I can't wait to sleep in. And she goes, what do you mean? I go, yeah, because it's just been a long week. And she goes, babe, it's Monday.
Oh, no.
And I go, oh, this is not going to get any better.
Yeah, it is Tuesday. I'm glad you're here, Rico. I'm glad that we're able to do the show. It's a big one today.
I seriously was just laying there watching TV and just like laying there, just like enjoying the night. And I'm just like, this is nice.
So did yesterday feel like a Friday for you?
No,
Then you're just weird.
Friday at night, like Monday night felt like a Friday night. We were just chilling.
Interesting.
The kids went to sleep early.
That's
we were just
nice.
watching. We were watching. She was working on some stuff for work, and we were watching SWAT on Hulu.
SWAT police show.
It's kind of. It's so. Have you
It's
watched
like a drama
Have you watched
thing.
911? Yeah, it's
No.
like a drama action type thing.
I have not.
With Shamar Moore.
Oh, Derek Morgan off of Criminal Minds.
Yes,
I do know that one. As always, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line, both those open for you the entire show. We have a big one for you today. We're going to talk about the Huskers scholarship distribution chart right now, where it stands, give you an update on that, because it makes things a little interesting when they are adding athletes. Obviously, you get the commitment of Chubba Purdy yesterday, and yesterday we had that huge discussion of quarterbacks, what that means for the guys in the room, especially Logan Smothers, Heinrich Harburg, and even Richard Torres you can throw into that category as well. And then they added a defensive back in Javier Morton later in the afternoon, so that adds another scholarship to this team. They have DeAndre Jackson coming in May. They added Anthony Grant over the weekend. So we are going to update you, walk you through some of the scholarships, how many scholarships they're using at each position. We're going to walk it because there's a couple. I don't know if alarming is the right word, Rico.
surprising
And just kind of eye-opening. Caught my eye.
There's some
the
numbers. There's some numbers that kind of make you tilt your head sideways and just go, huh.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. Then Jacob Padilla of Hail Varsity will join us at 2:30 to talk Husker hoops. They lose last night to Indiana, lose their 6th game in a row. We'll talk to Jacob about that a little bit. And then Nick's Trivia, $15 to the Upside Bar and Lounge. We'll do that in the final segment. All right. So the Huskers scholarship, and once again, 402-464-5685. You guys can call and text. We have the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. You can play it on your Alexa devices, all that good stuff as well.
And your Googles.
Yes. So scholarship distribution, Nebraska, as of right now, and I understand they're going to get through spring ball and there's going to be attrition. But right now they're standing at 92 scholarships, using up 92 scholarships. And that includes a guy like DeAndre Jackson, who is enrolling in May.
Yes.
So he'll be here for the football season. He's planned to be here for the football season.
If everything goes according to
As
plan
planned.
down at Texas A&M and he gets all his affairs in order, he will be here in May.
So this number includes him. I also have it separated by freshman, redshirt freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. And then the group of how many numbers they are using for scholarships per group. So 92 overall scholarships being used or allotted right now. There's 13 true freshmen on scholarship, 25 redshirt freshmen, 27 sophomores, 16 juniors, and 11 seniors. The let's just go position by position real quick, Rico.
All right.
So 5 quarterbacks are on scholarship.
That's a lot of scholarship quarterbacks.
Chuba, Richard Torres, true freshman. Chuba Purdy has 4 years of eligibility.
Mhm.
Heiner Carberg, redshirt freshman again.
Mhm.
Logan Smothers, sophomore. Casey Tom,
Redshirt sophomore or just regular sophomore?
I think just sophomore.
Okay.
Then COVID year. But yeah, no, I think just sophomore
Okay.
still. He's been here 2 years.
Okay.
Then junior Casey Thompson, redshirt junior Casey Thompson, so
Mhm.
still has 2 years of eligibility. There's 5 quarterbacks there.
That's too,
Which seems like a lot.
That's too many scholarship quarterbacks. Like, I understand. Like, I guess I get it, but I don't know how many other universities have 5 scholarship quarterbacks.
Well, you wonder, we had that conversation yesterday. You wonder what this means for a guy like Logan Smothers or Heiner Carberg, or even throwing a guy like Richard Torres now, because they're basically going out, and in terms of eligibility wise, they're going out and getting a second high school recruit, second true freshman, except he's spent a year at Florida State.
Well, the COVID year just throws everything off because, you do your recruiting to plan for, everybody, will lose a year or, what have you. Maybe they leave a year early or whatever. But like Logan Smothers has been here for 3 years and he's technically been here for 2 years because of the COVID year. Heiner Carberg's been here a year, but he's been here for 0 years because of the COVID year.
Exactly.
Richard Torres is starting out on the same playing field as Chuba Purdy, who's been in college a year, and Heiner Carberg, who's been in college a year, and he's literally entering his first year of college. So it just throws everything off, and it's very confusing, and the distribution is going to be off for a couple of years.
Yeah, and the reason that I'm doing this is I want people to realize how wild this spring practice is going to be for Husker football, because there's going to be a lot of jobs or guys separating from other players on the roster and in their position groups, and that's going to be kind of the time that we see, okay, what commits or signees at that time were the real deal that we heard about, and what guys that are in year 3 of this program are still yet to make their mark, because there's quite a few guys, especially when you get to the offensive line, that have yet to make their mark, and they've been in this group in this program for a couple years. So 5 scholarship quarterbacks. On to running backs, they have 7 scholarship running backs. Emmett Johnson, a true freshman, Gabe Irvin and DeAndre Jackson, I counted. They are both redshirt freshmen.
Okay.
DeAndre, has 4 years of eligibility. 4 or 3. I can't remember off the top of my head. Either way, he's still using a scholarship come May.
He's been at A&M 2 years. I think one of those was the COVID year, so I think he has 3.
So either way, I need to change that. Ramir Johnson and Jaquez Yant, both sophomores. Ramir's a redshirt sophomore. Jaquez Yant's a true sophomore. And then you have 2 juniors, Marquis Stepp and Anthony Grant, both redshirt juniors. So 2 years there as well.
No seniors.
Once again, you're going to talk. We're going to have this conversation again of just one guy take the job, and they replaced they pushed out Sevion Morrison and Marvin Scott, and now you're gonna have you not replace. I don't like to use that word, but they're filling those voids with Emmett Johnson, DeAndre Jackson, and Anthony Grant. So maybe one of those guys steps up and takes it. Maybe we still see Gabe Irvin having the conversations surrounding him as they did prior to his injury and right before he had his injury in the Oklahoma game.
Depending on how he responds to rehab and how he looks coming back, maybe he steps back into that job. But you got to think with the new running backs coach, everybody's going to start at ground zero.
You would hope. You would kind of hope.
Although with an injury,
open competitions.
With an injury, you might start a little bit lower than 0.
All right, tight ends, we'll go a little quicker here. Travis Vokelet's clearly the leader in that room, has a redshirt senior, so he's final year. Chris Hickman's the next oldest guy, redshirt sophomore. You have 3 redshirt freshmen and 1 true freshman in Chase Androff coming in. Here's where it gets a little hairy or interesting. Wide receiver, you have 13 guys on scholarship. 13 wide receivers on scholarship.
That doesn't seem crazy.
And here's what I would say on that. Why are we only hearing 2 names every season? That is a good question. That's what's crazy to me. That's what's eye-opening to me. I don't know if
you're only hearing 2 names, but you're hearing
maybe seeing production.
well, you're not even seeing production from those two names.
Yeah.
You're hearing the two names that are believed to have the most talent in that room,
Mm-hmm.
the most, but they so happen to be the ones that aren't providing as much production as you
would expect.
foresaw them doing before the season started.
Okay.
Because, we're talking about Omar Manning and Xavier Betts, and those two were thought to be the most...
Timeout. So I would even throw Oliver Martin in that category.
Oliver Martin was like a season, yeah, I guess.
Last year, he was supposed to be one of the guys.
I mean, Omar, you were hearing before he even got here, when he got here,
right.
and then he had that year of whatever was going on behind the scenes with Omar. I don't know. That didn't happen. And this last season, he had flashes, and then there were times where's Omar? Why is he on the field? Why isn't he playing in this game? And then Xavier Betts was kind of the same thing. He came in his freshman season, kind of exploded onto the scene with a couple of big plays, and then you didn't hear from him. And then last season, it was very sparingly seeing Xavier Betts. Oliver Martin was the beginning of this year, had a great first game, got hurt, was out for a while, came back, was thought to kind of mesh with everybody with the way that he played in the first game. Didn't really work out so well, but you hear his name because he played at two other Division I Power 5 schools in Michigan and Iowa. So you thought, hey, this guy has the talent. He's going to be able to step in and do something. So those would be the three names you hear about the most. But I think you hear about them the most because you want them, people want them to produce, and they're not producing. It's not that those guys are the best. It's that they have a lot of talent, and physically, at least, Omar and Xavier look the part, and you're still not getting the type of production you believe they should be providing you.
So then it goes back to that disconnect in development, right? The disconnect that from on paper to the field, there's something going on there. And one thing you can point to is the lack of development that's happened over the last couple of years. Now, new staff, new wide receiver coach, we all know that. Like I said, 13 scholarship wide receivers, 2 seniors, Omar Manning, Oliver Martin, 3 juniors on scholarship, Trey Palmer, Isaiah Garcia Castaneda, and Wyatt Lever. Just think. Sophomores, Xavier Betts and Alante Brown. Redshirt freshmen, Latrell Neville, Sean Hardy, Camonte Grimes, Will Nixon, and 2 true freshmen.
Will Nixon's
Yeah, because he's had injuries, COVID, redshirt.
Wow.
But like that's one of the guys that I am a huge fan of, Will Nixon, and we saw him in the spring game in that open spring practice or whatever, and he looks good in certain situations. And then we get to fall and
disappears.
There's nothing going on, and you don't hear his name, unfortunately. And he seemed to be healthy this last season.
I mean, that's how I feel about Alante Brown.
Bingo.
You see him every once in a while in a game without an injury. You see him every once in a while in a game. He does something, and you're just like, wow, that was awesome. And then you never see him again.
That was the deal with Marcus Fleming. You saw him, and then you didn't see him, and then he left.
But he's always on kick return.
Yeah.
But they never return the ball because if he even thinks about taking it out of the end zone, they're down at the 15 because the blocking is so bad.
Yeah, that's a good point. So then 2 true freshmen, Victor Jones Jr. and DeColdest Crawford. Those are the 2 freshmen coming in for Nebraska. So you look up and down and say, all right, Nebraska, you're going to have to eliminate 7 scholarships, right? And you expect some attrition out of that quarterback room. So maybe 1 or 2 there. So let's just say 2 for 5. So then you have 5 left. So then you wonder, and just because they're taking off a scholarship does not mean they're leaving the team. Like there's ways that they can do this where they are a preferred walk-on, basically.
There are ways around it. Every university has a way around taking a scholarship, quote unquote, taking a scholarship away from somebody, but they're still getting paid by the university, by the football team, whatever.
All right, so a couple minutes left in this segment before we get to Jacob. We'll continue we'll do the defense in the final segment. But so here we'll just keep going with offense. So 13 guys on scholarship at wide receiver specifically. Now we go to the offensive line, right? The Achilles heel of this offense, if you will. They have 7 tackles on scholarship. 1 senior. It's a redshirt Brock Bando.
Okay.
They have a newcomer in Hunter Anthony, who is a redshirt junior. Sophomore, redshirt Bryce Benhart. Sophomore Turner Corcoran. Redshirt sophomore Brant Banks. True sophomore Teddy Prohaska. Redshirt freshman Alex Kahn.
Alex Kahn's only a redshirt freshman.
Yes.
I feel like he's been here forever.
But time flies.
When you're
And
having fun.
No, time flies when you don't hear anything.
Touche.
You kind of forget. Guard position. No seniors. They have Nuri Nuili, who is a junior.
Mm-hmm.
Newcomer Kevin Williams Jr., who is a redshirt junior. Ethan Piper, redshirt sophomore. Michael Lynn, redshirt sophomore from Colorado.
Another guy I feel like is
Out of high school.
Than,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Than 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Henry Latovsky, good things have been said about him towards the back half of last season. Now we go to, so there's 5 guards on scholarship there.
Okay.
Now we go to center, the last position group before we get to Jacob Padilla, and kind of put a wedge here for a moment. Center, you kind of feel, so it's a little different. There's a thought personally for me, and just talking to a couple people, that Nuri is going to play center this year.
Interesting.
I will also say this. Nebraska only has 2 centers on scholarship.
Okay.
One is a redshirt senior in Trent Hickson. The other, a true freshman, Justin Evans Jenkins, who was a late addition to the recruiting class.
Mm-hmm. He played guard, didn't he?
So I believe in high school he played
Because he was a guard and a defensive lineman.
defensive lineman, yes. But they brought him here as a center.
Okay.
So that's the offense of group. 5 scholarship quarterbacks, 7 scholarships running backs, 6 scholarship tight ends, 13 wide receivers on scholarship, 7 tackles on scholarship, and 5 guards on scholarship, and 2 centers. And the reason I like this also because it shows your depth, what you're having behind them. Before they grabbed a guy like Chubba Purdy, they kind of had it planned out well. So I can see what they were doing there. They bring in a guy, Casey Thompson, has 2 years. Then it's Logan Smothers, a class behind him. Then Heinrich Harburg, a class behind him. Richard Torres, a class behind him. And then you bring in a guy like Chubba Purdy, who has technically 1 year of college experience, but 4 years of eligibility. So if a guy like Harburg or Smothers leaves, you're able to kind of pluck Chubba into that role, into that spot. And that's not to be like, and if you were listening to the conversation that me, Big Sky, and Bach had yesterday, my whole thing is that Casey Thompson is probably the starter. So it's almost a battle for number 2.
I don't even think you need to put problem. Casey Thompson is the starter.
Yeah.
Barring any type of injury to Mr. Thompson, knock on wood, he is the starter. You're not going down. You're not going to Austin, Texas, and grabbing their two-year starter and bringing him up here to say, all right, you're backing up, somebody else.
Yeah.
That's not how that works. And people are going to say, oh, he got benched at points during this last season. He got hurt, which is why he got benched, because he hurt a finger on his throwing hand, which I don't know about you, but being a quarterback and needing to throw a football, I would like to have all of my fingers not injured.
That's a good point. So we'll see how that unfolds, but the spring's going to be really interesting for Nebraska football, especially on the offensive side. But that's not all. We'll talk about the defense in the final segment because I actually think the defense is more interesting than the offense. But now we got to get to Jacob Padilla of Hail Varsity next up on the Happy Hour on the Ticket.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You can search online for hours to find the best electricians in Lincoln and the surrounding area, but I'll save you time. High Electric has been serving their customers for 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They're experts in everything electrical, from remodeling to new additions, hot tub installations, electric vehicle chargers or EV chargers, lighting, ceiling fans, and more. High Electric takes jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at highelectric.com. You spend more time in your garage than outdoors in the wintertime. Isn't it time to get it organized? Call Travis at Classic Garage Solutions for his variety of organization packages. Turn your garage from a cluttered mess to a clean, organized space that'll be the envy of the neighborhood and something you can be proud of. You don't need to bring the same clutter from last year into the new year. Travis has storage options for cabinets, monkey bar shelving, or slat wall, and more. Call Classic Garage Solutions today at 402-730-1638.
Are you tired of lousy internet and faceless customer service? It's time to experience local, honest, hassle-free, and exceptional. That's the Allo Promise. We not only provide crazy fast fiber internet, crystal clear TV, and dependable phone service, but we choose to become a part of the communities that we serve and love when everyone calls or stops by our store to say hello. So don't settle for mediocre, settle for exceptional with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/local.
Old School with DP and J.
I always try to tell athletes, be where your cleats are, be in the moment, play by play, possession by possession. That's what Nebraska's women's team does so well. That's why nothing changes. It doesn't matter who's in the game. With the men, that's if they took a little bit of more of that mentality, you would see it. And they've shown games that they've done it. I've seen you do it against, other teams and kind of give the game away. You've seen it on the NC State, play in the moment, continue to play, but then you see the complete opposite.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. You hear that? That's the sound of extremely tender and delicious beef from certified Piedmontese. Prime grade tenderness with a fraction of the fat and calories of normal beef. It's Nebraska-raised product and the official beef of Nebraska Athletics. Change the way you buy beef today at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, just north of 84th and Havelock, or at cpmercado.com. 93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather, sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
An incredibly mild Tuesday on the way. We'll top out near 59 with west winds at around 10 to 15, but a strong cold front will move through the area tonight, increasing cloud cover, a low down to 13, and only a high of 17 tomorrow, with a north wind gusting over 20. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop. But you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order online now from the new Wingstop, located at 5001 O Street.
These days, there are more reasons than ever to treat yourself to a great haircut at Great Clips with the online check-in app. So tell us, why do you check in?
I check in because I'm tired of hat hair. I check in because we all need a cut.
I check in so I can feel like me.
And I check in so I look good for you.
No matter why you check in, you'll check out with a great haircut and save time with our online check-in app. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
This is Dan Friedman. In recent years, over 1/3 of all Nebraska traffic crashes have been caused by drivers aged 15 to 19. If you're a teen driver, don't become another statistic. Keep your eyes on the road. And if you're a parent, please remember that safe driving habits start with you. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices. For almost 60 years, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
Casey's General Store is giving you the chance at winning 2 free tickets to a Nebraska home basketball game this season. Stop by any Casey's location in Lincoln throughout basketball season. Enter your name into the registration box, and you'll have a chance to win 2 tickets to an upcoming Nebraska basketball game. Every drawing will occur at least 24 hours before the game that has its selected winner. So make sure to get to any Casey's in Lincoln today for your chance at 2 free tickets for Nebraska men's basketball games.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back here on the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick and Rico with you. Nebraska basketball loses 78-71 to the Hoosiers last night. And as we do every Tuesday, we bring in Jacob Padilla of Hale Varsity. Jacob, hello.
Hi, how you doing?
I am doing well. Let me just ask this right out of the gate. Why did Derek Walker only shoot the ball 3 times last night?
Well, one, he only played 19 minutes because of the foul trouble.
Yeah.
And 2, they had trouble getting him the ball. Sometimes they weren't looking for it. Sometimes he wasn't kind of establishing himself in scoring positions. It just, with the way Indiana was defending it, just didn't work out to get him a lot of scoring opportunities. And that's something that they probably need to really, I mean, it has been a big emphasis recently. But it just, the way this game played out, he just didn't get many chances. And there's Verge is trying to feed him late in kind of that last 4 minutes on a little 2-man game. Was trying to get him there, and the pass got deflected. I think there were a couple times there where they were trying to get him the ball in the lane or rolling to the basket, and they just weren't able to find the passing window. But yeah, 2 or 3 from the field, 0 free throws. That's not going to get it done for Nebraska.
Jacob, I want to be careful how I say this. I don't want to stir up any controversy. Has there, or do you believe that there's been any talk about more or less minutes for other players?
Well, we've seen kind of the minutes go up and down depending on the game. Obviously, Lonzo Verge, he's been kind of up and down. Hoiberg's kind of been playing it by feel there with him and Kobe Webster a lot of time. And now you got Trey McGowan's working his way back. That'll kind of factor into that discussion as well. We saw CJ Wilcher play 21 minutes to Keisei Tominaga's 16 in that game yesterday. So we're starting to see kind of those minutes shift a little bit. I mean, Bryce McGowan is going to be out there 30 plus minutes a game. Derek Walker is going to play as many minutes as he can handle. I don't know what there just aren't a lot of options at the 4 for that man. Unfortunately, he's not playing. Although yesterday was actually one of his better offensive games. Hit a couple of threes. Obviously, they're both right away, but he's just kind of been a liability most of the season, and they just don't have another option there. So besides playing a lot of 4-guard lineups, and that creates its own problems. So we're seeing that a little bit. Kind of Hoiberg's trying to play by feel with some of those positions, but there aren't enough guys, I think, consistently playing well to settle into a set rotation in terms of minutes.
We're talking to Jacob Padilla of Hale Varsity. Jacob, now that Trey McGowan's is back, obviously the workload. Hoiberg, I believe, said last night that going in, they were planning 16 to 18 minutes. Then the trainer said that it'd be okay to stretch him a little bit farther, and that's why he played 21. But how much of just a boost, and what does this do for just Nebraska in general, getting a guy like Trey McGowan's back?
Yeah, I mean, it was evident kind of the impact he made. They were +4 in his 21 minutes in a 7-point loss. So he made an impact while he was out there. He scored obviously the 7 points in the first half, knocked down that 3 right away, drew a couple of fouls. There was a possession where he fought over the top of a screen and drew an offensive foul, which just don't have a lot of guys that are capable of doing that beyond him on the team. He's in position for a defensive rebound in the bonus, and drew a foul that way, which got him to the line once. Obviously, there was the tie-up and a little scrap late with his former teammate Xavier Johnson. And you could see a couple of those possessions down the stretch, like what a difference his ball pressure makes. Because we've talked about before just how many times other teams can just attack Nebraska's guards off the bounce and get to the rim at will and either draw help or just go in for the score. And that's not so easy when you got Trey out there guarding the best opposing guard because he can stay in front of defender or offensive players rather. So you could just notice kind of all the little things he did out there. He wasn't overly involved on offense. I think they're still kind of working his way back. You saw him mishandle the ball a couple of times, just getting a little sped up. That's all the timing things that come with just not playing recently, and not forget recently in 2 months. But you could definitely see right away him making an impact in all the areas that we talked about them missing with him out of the lineup.
Jacob, we've seen the two smaller guard lineup with Verge and Kobe getting in at the same time. Is there any way is there any possibility that a two big lineup with Eduardo and Derek being in at the same time might make an appearance at all? If you think that might help them out in any of the games remaining?
Herbert talked about it, especially back when Wilhelm just first got hurt and they had a couple of guys sick and they were just really down on their options there. But I don't think they'll go that route. I just Eduardo Andre isn't playing well enough. I don't think consistently. He actually the Indiana game was one of his better games. I thought especially in the first half, I thought he gave him really good minutes and held his own. In the second half, Trace Jackson Davis kind of abused him a little bit, but then again, he was doing that to everybody, and he's an All Big Ten player for a reason. But that was, I think, they were +2 in Andre's 21 minutes. So if you can survive and not have his minutes be a big negative, that's better than what we've seen most of the season, because they've really struggled with him on the court for the most part this season. So I don't think more Eduardo is the answer with the way that he's been playing, and then kind of what that might do to their offense, where you've got guys kind of out in space a little bit more. Neither one of he nor Derek Walker is a floor spacer, and we've already seen how much this team struggles creating space as it is, with teams not necessarily respecting their shooters. So I don't think that's really an option. It doesn't look like Keon Edwards is ready to help this team right now. Obviously, Trevor Lakes is hurt now. Wilhelm Breidenbach is hurt. So they really don't have options at that 4 spot. You just got to hope that Lat can play better than he has been, and then that you can survive and outscore teams with the 4-guard lineup with CJ Wilcher and Bryce McGowan's out there together.
Hail Varsities, Jacob Padilla is our guest. Jacob, I want to ask a little bit of a bigger picture question. We had this conversation yesterday on the show. The longer that this losing streak goes on, how much more do you have to worry about attrition for next year? And guys, I know for sure there's a couple guys graduating this year, and Bryce McGowan's, if he's still projected high enough in the draft, you can't blame him for heading over to the NBA. But how much longer, or how much do you have to worry, about attrition the longer that this losing streak goes on?
That is kind of the part of them struggling as much as they have this year. Is this was kind of the year that they were building towards. It was the year that they had some continuity with that kind of core of Trey and Derek and Lat coming back, plus the talented newcomers like Bryce and Breidenbach, just in terms of how they touted guys coming in. And you added some shooting, which the team desperately needed. So you felt like they addressed a lot of their weaknesses. You added some continuity and hope that it would be able to come together this year. It hasn't really, and now you have no idea. I don't know how many of these guys are going to be back next year, at least in terms of the ones that are the kind of the difference makers. Like Verge, he's definitely done. Bryce, even with the struggles this year, I wouldn't expect to see him back. And I don't know what Trey, obviously Trey and Derek in particular both have another year of eligibility. But I mean, Derek Walker want to be playing college basketball at 25 years old, especially if when he's coming back. I think that's kind of what you're alluding to. Like, what's the reason to come back if the team can't win?
What's the upside?
And that's what Kobe Webster mentioned. A couple of the kind of the way they played down the stretch, a couple of those wins late played a big part in his decision to come back for another year. Obviously, he hasn't quite been the impact player consistently that you would have hoped for a super senior. But he came back because he felt like, hey, we were building towards something. Got a couple of those wins late, and I'm feeling good about the direction of the team. Right now, I don't think anybody can feel good about the trajectory of the team. So they've got to kind of get something going here in the second half of the season, not only to kind of have something to sell to guys that you're looking to bring into the program, but also to the guys already here, like, hey, stick with us. We can make this work. We just got to keep building it. And right now there isn't anything to build off of. You mentioned that's at 8 conference losses now. They've got to find a way to kind of get over the hump and start winning some of these games.
Jacob, one last one before we let you go. Jacob Padilla of Hail Varsity is our guest here. Last time Nebraska played Ohio State, they really kind of shut down EJ Liddell for a betterment of the game, doubling whoever they got down low in the paint, and unfortunately for Nebraska, they just hit their threes that game. Should we expect something similar on Saturday, or do you think a totally different approach is going to be what direction they choose to go to?
No, I don't think they're going to go with a totally different approach. I don't think they're going to have as much success keeping Liddell in check. And Kyle Young, I believe, is going to be available for them. He wasn't able to play last game, but Trey didn't play last game for Nebraska either. And I think that was one of those games. I think North Carolina State is probably the best example. I feel like if they've got Trey to guard Darion Sebron in that game, that Nebraska probably wins that game. But kind of the same thing with Ohio State. If you had Trey to throw at Malachi Branham after he had kind of gotten hot, then maybe you're able to kind of hold on to that game and win that one as well. So maybe Trey makes a difference in this one, but they're going to have to do a better job on some of the perimeter players, and they're going to need some guys on their side to step up and be a little bit better offensively, because you can't expect Liddell to go 2 for 14 again. You can't expect Zed Key to only take 5 shots or whatever it was, score 7 points. They're going to get more from the post, I would assume, in round 2. We saw that in Indiana, where they held Trace Jackson Davis in check round 1, but he was too good of a player to stay down, and they weren't able to execute at the same level, and he got them in game 2. So they're going to probably go in with a similar game plan, but they're going to have to do it better, because trying to do exactly what they did last time probably isn't going to work with Ohio State making some adjustments and just overall having guys kind of experience what Nebraska threw at them and be more ready for it this time.
Nebraska basketball, one lone road win under Fred Hoiberg that came on back on February 14th of 2021 against Penn State. All right, Jacob, appreciate the time as always. Good stuff. Let's hope for the best on Saturday. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, sounds good.
That is Jacob Padilla of Hail Varsity. Appreciate the time as always. Call now, 402-464-5685. $15 to the Upside Bar and Lounge is on the line. Nick Trivia. We'll do another where did this NFL quarterback go to college? We'll do that next and get to the defensive side of the scholarship distribution chart for Husker football. All that and more next up on the Happy Hour.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Need to send a message? Send it with cake. Congratulations? Here's a congratulations chocolate rum cake from Beatrice Bakery. Thank you? Say thank you with an amaretto cake. I'm sorry that I accidentally hit your mailbox with my car as I was backing out of the driveway and then continued right into your prized petunias. You say that with a lemon drop cake. Everybody knows that. Beatrice Bakery in downtown Beatrice or online at beatricebakery.com. Here to help you say whatever it is you need to say. Welcome to our world of yum.
In the wintertime. Isn't it time to get it organized? Call Travis at Classic Garage Solutions for his variety of organization packages. Turn your garage from a cluttered mess to a clean, organized space that'll be the envy of the neighborhood and something you can be proud of. You don't need to bring the same clutter from last year into the new year. Travis has storage options for cabinets, monkey bar shelving, or slat wall, and more. Call Classic Garage Solutions today at 402-730-1638.
Are you tired of lousy internet and faceless customer service? It's time to experience local, honest, hassle-free, and exceptional. That's the Allo Promise. We not only provide crazy fast fiber internet, crystal clear TV, and dependable phone service, but we choose to become a part of the communities that we serve and love when everyone calls or stops by our store to say hello. So don't settle for mediocre, settle for exceptional with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/local.
Hi, this is Sean Callahan with Coppell Chevrolet GMC. New vehicle production has been increasing, but the lots will not be filling up anytime soon. In fact, most vehicles are being pre-sold and are leaving the same week as they arrive. If you want your new Chevrolet or GMC, this is a great time to build a vehicle and place an order. Our sales team will work right with you to build the exact vehicle you want. At Coppell, we appreciate your business and sell vehicles at a fair price. So come check us out or visit us online at CoppellCars.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
An incredibly mild Tuesday on the way. We'll top out near 59 with west winds at around 10 to 15. But a strong cold front will move through the area tonight, increasing cloud cover, a low down to 13, and only a high of 17 tomorrow, with a north wind gusting over 20. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
Casey's General Store is giving you the chance at winning 2 free tickets to a Nebraska home basketball game this season. Stop by any Casey's location in Lincoln throughout basketball season. Enter your name into the registration box, and you'll have a chance to win 2 tickets to an upcoming Nebraska basketball game. Every drawing will occur at least 24 hours before the game that has its selected winner. So make sure to get to any Casey's in Lincoln today for your chance at 2 free tickets for Nebraska men's basketball games.
You hear that? That's the sound of extremely tender and delicious beef from certified Piedmontese. Prime grade tenderness with a fraction of the fat and calories of normal beef. It's Nebraska-raised product and the official beef of Nebraska Athletics. Change the way you buy beef today at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, just north of 84th and Havelock, or at cpmercado.com.
These days, there are more reasons than ever to treat yourself to a great haircut at Great Clips with the online check-in app. So tell us, why do you check in?
I check in because I'm tired of hat hair. I check in because we all need a cut.
I check in so I can feel like me.
And I check in so I look good for you.
No matter why you check in, you'll check out with a great haircut and save time with our online check-in app. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
Hey, sports fans. Rico here with HIS Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for his Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Now back to the happy hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, call now 402-464-5685, Honda Lincoln Hotline, to win $15 to the Upside Bar and Lounge. I need to know where Matthew Stafford went to college. Simple. Win $15 to the Upside Bar and Lounge. We'll be all good if you can tell me where Matthew Stafford went to college. We'll do that. We'll wait for a caller, but in the meantime, let's dive back into this scholarship thing. So we talked about the offense. Now it's time to talk about the defense.
Okay.
We do have a caller, so we're going to pause. Matthew Stafford got his first playoff win last night.
Yeah, he did. There's a lot of first-timers in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts.
Impressive.
Kyler Murray. Mac Jones. Other players that I can't even think of right now. Derek Carr.
All right, we got Brad on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Brad, where did Matthew Stafford go to college?
Wait, Nick Rico, this is Chris up the Baldwin Shop, too.
Oh,
what's
nice.
up?
Hey, not much, you guys. Great show today.
Appreciate
Love
it.
the topics.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, Matthew Stafford, if memory serves me right, and mine's starting to fail me, did go to Georgia.
That is correct. He did go to Georgia.
Look at
Congratulations. Nice job. Nice hearing from you, man.
Yeah, good show, Nick Rico.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. 402-464-5685. Feel free to chime in the show the rest of the way. Congrats to him for winning $15 to the Upside Bar.
If anybody was going to get it, it was going to be Chris.
Yeah, Chris, absolutely.
It makes sense.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk defense side on the scholarship distribution thing here. So, defensive end, they have 6 guys on scholarship.
Okay.
A redshirt junior. Oh, I lost my place. Microsoft Excel. They have 2 redshirt juniors, Tate Wildeman and Casey Rogers. Okay. They have 2 redshirt sophomores, Ty Robinson and Messiah Newsom. 1 redshirt freshman, Ruquan Buckley, and a true freshman, Brody Tagaloa.
Haven't heard much from Mosiah Newsom in a while.
Or Tate Wildeman.
Well, I know Tate Wildeman's been hurt.
Yes.
I know that. Casey Rogers was hurt, then came back, and he was lauded as probably one of the better pass rushing DNs that they had. Ty Robinson, we've seen the past 2 years. Putting in some work, looks pretty solid. Maybe he's work on a little bit of conditioning, but he's doing really well.
So then we go to defensive tackle, and these 2 positions, the D end and the D tackle, are going to be huge for Nebraska next year. Depending on whether they switch up the way that they kind of run their defense, how they line up, if they choose to go a little smaller up front, maybe try to get some speed, then you have to worry about rush defense and things like that, because now you're losing 2 guys, Damian Daniels and DeAndre Thomas, who were just there, and you could count on them every single game to fill space. And they did a great job of it last year and were a big reason why Nebraska was successful in the run defense. So at defensive tackle, they have a redshirt senior in Jordan Riley, who you expect to play a big part of. They have a sophomore, Nash Hutmacher, the polar bear.
Everybody's excited about him. You saw him in the Iowa game. He had some good, he had some bad, but you think another year, strength and conditioning, learning the defense. The kid is strong, and I don't want to say he has a nose for the football, but he's really good with leverage, and we know that because he's a multiple time state champion in wrestling up in South Dakota.
And then behind Nash Hutmacher, Jalen Weaver and Marquis Black, both redshirt freshmen entering this season. Yes or no? Haven't heard much about Jalen Weaver in the short time he's been here. Marquis Black a couple times. But
his name has been mentioned.
Yes. All right. Should we save linebackers for the last thing, or should we? Let's just go right to linebackers.
Just go straight to linebacker. We're working our way up.
Yep. All right. Hang on, folks. Nebraska has 9 outside linebackers on scholarship and 9 inside linebackers on scholarship. 18 linebackers are on scholarship.
Why do you have so many linebackers on scholarship?
Now, here's what I'll say.
I can't
depth,
even say.
I guess you depth.
Well, no depth, but like 9,
18.
Well, I know, but 9 each.
At 9 each, yeah. At least they're balanced. But okay, so
maybe I don't know, man.
So the seniors at outside linebacker, we'll start with them first. Caleb Tanner. Redshirt senior Damian Jackson returns, and Feldarius Payne. Then you have true junior Garrett Nelson, redshirt sophomore Javen Wright, redshirt freshman Wyndon Hohuli, redshirt freshman Blaze Gunnerson, redshirt freshman Jamari Butler, and then you bring in a true freshman Jake Applegate. from Lincoln Southeast. That's an outside linebacker. Then you move to inside. Redshirt senior Chris Kolarvik, senior Ateva Maga Clements, true junior Luke Reimer, redshirt sophomores Nick Henrich and Garrett Snodgrass, redshirt freshmen Randolph Kapai, Makai Gabayer, Seth Malcolm, true freshman Ernest Hausman. So you walk through the list real quickly here before I know we're running up against the clock, but Bach and them can hang on. They'll be all right.
They'll be fine.
You walk down the list. I mean, outside linebacker, you've heard from almost every guy. A guy like Javen Wright, who is a redshirt sophomore, is somebody that just hasn't been able to get over the injury bug.
Well, he also started in the secondary and
You're right.
put on the weight and moved down.
You're right about that. Obviously, Damian Jackson's there for his toughness, his leadership, his vocal, and just leading by example. I guess just the ultimate leader right there, Damian Jackson. Really cool story as well. Garrett Nelson, rightfully so on scholarship. Caleb Tanner, rightfully so. Feldarius Payne, rightfully so. Blaze Gunnarsson found time later in the season.
It was pretty impressive.
Haven't heard much about Wyndon Hohuli after he got to campus. It was exciting that he got here.
He got in a couple of the blowouts, and he was flying all over the place.
So you have that. Blaze Gunnarsson, I already mentioned. Jamari Butler's one. Jake Applegate, as well as a true freshman. Then you go to inside. You haven't heard much about Randolph Kapai since he got here from South Dakota. Seth Malcolm from Iowa. You haven't heard much about. Makai Gabayer, haven't heard much about. Garrett Snodgrass played on special teams. Ateva Maga Clements played on special teams.
I think he also got in.
In the blowouts, but mainly on special teams. Real quickly here, safeties. You have 7 on scholarship. Nobody older than a junior.
That's good and bad.
Yeah. Then when you go down to cornerbacks, you have 8 guys on scholarship. Nobody older than junior.
Also good and bad.
And you have 3 guys from the special teams unit on scholarship. Daniel Cherney, Timmy Bleakroad, and Brian Bruschini. All right. I know that was a rapid fire kind of segment there with the defense. We'll dive more into this tomorrow because I want to continue this conversation. What's it mean for Nebraska going forward? We'll talk about that all tomorrow. The water cooler with Bach and Big Skies next. Talk to you guys tomorrow.
Adios.
93.7 The Ticket.